Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
Life on the outskirts of Havenwood, down a private, winding lane that eventually opens up to a small, private cove, is usually peaceful. My business, Cove Heavy Recovery, operates 24/7. We're contracted by the Regional Highway Patrol for all serious vehicle recovery, from overturned semi-trucks to specialized industrial equipment. When the call comes in, I have a strict 20-minute response time. It's a critical service, and I take it very seriously. About 6 months ago, Eleanor Vance moved into the property adjacent to mine. She was new to the area, bought the old Oakhaven estate, and immediately started hosting massive gatherings. The lane is narrow, really only one car width, with small pull-offs. I foresaw issues. A few weeks prior, I'd walked over, introduced myself, and politely explained my work and the necessity of keeping the lane clear. I even offered them parking on a section of my unused pasture if they had overflow. Eleanor, with a condescending smile, assured me it wouldn't be a problem. "We're considerate, darling," she'd purred. Tonight, however, was different. My pager buzzed around 1 a.m., a multi-car pileup on the interstate, involving a chemical tanker. My boss, Arthur, was already on the line. He told me, "Jess, get the rotator and the big flatbed rolling. This is a bad one." I grabbed my boots and gear, my heart already pounding with adrenaline. This was exactly what I lived for: critical, high-stakes recovery. But as I backed my personal truck out, planning to drive the short distance to my main garage and hook up the rotator, my headlights cut through the fog and landed on a solid wall of vehicles. Sedans, SUVs, trucks, haphazardly parked, completely blocking the lane, extending for what felt like a quarter-mile. There must have been 30-40 cars. Eleanor was throwing another one of her infamous college kickoff parties. My stomach dropped. I was trapped. I walked over, the thumping bass vibrating through the ground, a kaleidoscope of flashing lights piercing the darkness. The yard was packed with young adults, many already stumbling. It took me a solid 10 minutes to navigate the crowd and find Eleanor, who was holding court by a bonfire, a plastic cup in her hand. "Eleanor," I said, trying to keep my voice calm over the din, "I need you to move these cars. I'm on call for an emergency and I can't get out." She slurred, "Oh, it's just a party, relax, can't you walk?" She gestured vaguely. A drunk guy nearby yelled, "Yeah, lady, go home." I tried again, explaining the highway patrol contract, the tanker, the urgency. She just waved her hand dismissively. "Honestly, your job isn't my problem. Go around." Then, leaning into a group of her friends, she laughed. "Some people just can't handle a good time. What a buzzkill." My jaw tightened. "Eleanor, if these cars aren't moved immediately, I'm going to have them towed." Her laughter intensified. "Go ahead, old hag, see if I care." She turned her back, dismissing me completely. That's when something inside me snapped. The rage was cold, precise. I walked back to my truck, my mind racing. I couldn't respond to the emergency, but I could make damned sure Eleanor regretted this night for a very long time. I pulled out my phone. First call was to Arthur, my boss. "Arthur, I'm blocked in, neighbor's party. Can't get out. I'm initiating a full private property impound. Send every truck we have, all 10 of them." Arthur, knowing my usual professionalism, didn't argue. "Understood, Jess, on their way." Next, I called the Highway Patrol Dispatch. "Officer Reynolds, it's Jessica from Cove Heavy Recovery. I'm blocked in at my residence by a massive party. I'm requesting an officer presence to maintain peace and ensure safety during the operation." He knew my situation and the importance of my role. "On my way, Jessica. ETA 10 minutes. I stood by my driveway, watching the lane, the party still roaring. My plan was simple: inflict maximum legal pain. Every car blocking the lane, every car parked illegally on my property, which was clearly marked with "No Parking Private Property" signs, would be hauled away. And because it was after hours, the fees would be astronomical. Within minutes, the first of Cove's heavy haulers rumbled down the lane. Officer Reynolds arrived right behind them, lights flashing, cutting through the thick fog and the party's chaotic lights. The music abruptly cut out as the sheer scale of the operation dawned on the partygoers. 10 massive tow trucks, bright yellow and orange, slowly filling the narrow lane. My crew, led by Thomas, were absolute pros. They started at the end of the blockage, methodically hooking up vehicles. Panic erupted. Kids poured out of Eleanor's house, yelling, stumbling, trying to find their cars. Officer Reynolds, calm and authoritative, began explaining the situation. Private property impound, no parking, no blocking egress. One kid, driving a beat-up sports car, saw his vehicle about to be hooked. He jumped in, started the engine, and peeled out, narrowly missing one of my guys, disappearing into the night. Officer Reynolds noted the license plate. Another young woman, reeking of alcohol, tried to argue, then got into her family's luxury SUV and attempted to drive it around the tow trucks, getting stuck deep in the muddy ditch that ran alongside my property. She became belligerent with Officer Reynolds, screaming about her rights. He calmly cuffed her for public intoxication and suspected DUI. Her SUV joined the impound queue. A third vehicle, a large camper van, was left abandoned, its owner nowhere to be found. It was an organized chaos. My team worked with incredible efficiency, hauling away car after car. The lanes slowly cleared. Each vehicle was documented, photographed, and carefully removed. By 3 a.m., the lane was entirely clear. Eleanor's yard was nearly empty, save for a few abandoned Solo cups. She herself had disappeared into her house, peeking occasionally through a curtain, her face pale. I finally got to my garage, hooked up the rotator, and headed to the interstate incident, a bit late, but the job was still done. My team, meanwhile, finished impounding the last cars at our secure lot. I made sure to bring them coffee and breakfast for their troubles. The next day, a Sunday, our office phones began ringing off the hook. Furious parents, bewildered college kids. Our impound fees, clearly posted, are substantial. $350 for the tow, plus $75 a day for storage. And because it was a private property tow initiated after hours, there was an additional $150 after-hours gate fee to retrieve their vehicles before Monday morning. Most of them wanted their cars now. I fielded several calls personally. When they started shouting about illegal towing and lawyers, I calmly informed them that I had given repeated warnings, provided evidence of no parking signs on my private lane, and explained that the property owner had been verbally abusive and blocked my ability to respond to a critical, life-saving emergency. I made sure to add, and for anyone asking who to thank for this inconvenience, you can thank Ms. Eleanor Vance, who hosted the party and refused to cooperate. The impound yard was a spectacle on Monday morning. Dozens of furious people, shelling out hundreds of dollars. The young woman who had gotten the DUI was facing legal charges, her parents mortified. The owner of the abandoned camper van was still missing, accruing massive storage fees. Eleanor Vance, I learned later through local gossip, was utterly disgraced. Her college kickoff party was infamous for all the wrong reasons. Her reputation in Havenwood was ruined, and she was hemorrhaging friends. Not only did she lose her social standing, but she also likely alienated a lot of potential renters or buyers for her estate, which she'd intended to flip. The total cost to her party guests was easily tens of thousands of dollars, and the blame was laid squarely at her feet. As for me, I finally got a full night's sleep, knowing that my crucial emergency access was respected, and that justice, in the form of a very expensive lesson, had been served. Never, ever prevent someone from doing their essential job, especially when lives are on the line. Eleanor Vance learned that the hard way.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.